Yeah. What's good? What's good? It's your boy Tone DeShields the second. You guys are locked in on Chalking Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Once again, I say this is your boy Tone DeShields the second. You're locked in on Chalking Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. We got some things to talk about. We ain't going to be here too long. We're going to get right to it. Y'all know what it is. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Trade news. Philadelphia Eagles just made a trade. The Philadelphia Eagles just made a trade here. Let's bring it up on screen. Let's not overcomplicate this thing. Let's tell exactly how it is. The Philadelphia Eagles decided to trade defensive tackle Thomas Booker. Defensive tackle Thomas Booker IV. They decided to trade him to the Las Vegas Raiders. They traded Thomas Booker to the Las Vegas Raiders for a corner by the name of Jakorian Bennett. Now, I don't know too much about Mr. Bennett. I don't know too much about Mr. Bennett at all, if I'm being honest with you. But this has just been reported by Adam Schefter that the Philadelphia Eagles decided to trade defensive tackle Thomas Booker IV for cornerback Jakorian Bennett. Now, both Jakorian Bennett and Thomas Booker IV are young players, right? Jakorian Bennett, 5'11", 195, 24 years old. Thomas Booker, 6'3", 301, 25 years old. Both of these guys are young players. Both of these guys were drafted in the 4th and 5th rounds, respectively. And let's just call this exactly how we see it. Let's not overcomplicate this thing. Let's not make it more complex than what it is. The Eagles are concerned about cornerback 2. This is what I take from it. Because I didn't think they needed extra bodies at the position. I didn't think that, right? I didn't think they were in need of bodies. But I feel like this move is a clear sign that they're not fully comfortable with their cornerback spot. Now, we clearly know Howie does what Howie does, Fangio does what Fangio does. But you don't trade for another corner unless you lack depth or you lack the talent you think you need. I don't think it's a depth issue. There's plenty of bodies on the team at corner. So that tells me they're not comfortable with Adoree Jackson. They're not comfortable with Kelee Ringo. They feel like they need more there. Let me start here. Let me start here, man. I've been singing the praises of Thomas Booker IV for days. For days. You guys know how I feel about Thomas Booker IV. I've been very high on Thomas Booker IV. I have been shameless about it to the point where I felt like Thomas Booker IV could beat out Ty Robinson for that DT4 spot. But now Thomas Booker IV is gone. I need to know more about this player, Jakorian Bennett, because he's not really favored right now in PFF circles. He doesn't have a good PFF grade. He's only been in the league for 2 seasons going into year 3. He only has 11 starts under his belt. He's played in 24 games. 2024 was probably his best season. Played in 10 games, started in 7, had 8 pass deflections. No INTs on the resume yet. 5'11", 195, decent size. Went to the University of Maryland, so he's a Terrapin. I don't know much about this. I don't know much about this player, so I had to keep looking. I gotta keep looking. I gotta learn more about this dude because I'm a Thomas Booker guy, and I'm not too excited about this move. I need to see what the Raiders writers are talking about. I need to see what the Raiders side of things are talking about. Okay, here we go. I'm reading an article here by the Las Vegas Review-Journal by Adam Hill. Says here the Raiders traded cornerback Jakorian Bennett to the Eagles on Monday in exchange for defensive lineman Thomas Booker IV. Bennett, 24 years old, showed promise his first 2 seasons with the Raiders after being picked in the 4th round of the 2023 NFL Draft out of Maryland. But he isn't the type of tall, lanky cornerback new coach Pete Carroll prefers. Bennett played primarily with the 3rd team in training camp, and the Raiders shopped him for several weeks, according to a person with knowledge of the situation. Booker, 25, okay, we already know who Thomas Booker is. I need more. I need more than just this. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't think this is a good sign for how they feel about that cornerback room right now. Outside of Quinyon and outside of Cooper DeJean, you don't make this move unless you feel like you need more there. Let me see. I need to see more. And again, although this move doesn't point to a sign of prosperity, I ultimately don't know how it's going to shake up here. I ultimately don't know how this is all going to shake up. That's the reality. Let me see here. I need to see what the Raiders fans is talking about. That's what I need to see. I need to see. Now, obviously, that means Ty Robinson reps going up, Moro Jomo reps going up, right? And I told you guys this also. The Eagles have a lot of talent at D tackle. They have a lot of depth and a lot of talent at D tackle. You don't move on from Thomas Booker IV if you're not comfortable with that room. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Ty Robinson, Byron Young, Gabe Hall. They have talent at that D tackle spot. So you move Thomas Booker to get more talent at corner. All right, let me see if I can find something here. All right. Jakorian Bennett's ranks amongst NFL cornerbacks with 450 plus snaps. 18 receptions allowed, 3rd. 37 targets, 10th. 176 yards allowed, 2nd. 0 touchdowns allowed, tied 1st. 9 pass breakups, tied 4th. A 62.4 QBR allowed, 6th. And held Jamar Chase to 3 catches, 16 yards, and no touchdowns with 1 pass breakup. Interesting. Interesting. Jakorian Bennett, young guy, 24 years old, was drafted in the 4th round. Still very much on a rookie deal. Above all else, I am a supporter of the Eagles. That goes beyond my support for Kelee Ringo. That goes beyond my encouragement of him. At the end of the day, the best players will be put on the football field. It's just that simple. We all know, based off what we've heard, what we've read, what we've seen, the CB2 competition hasn't been that dynamic. Neither Kelee Ringo, neither Adoree Jackson, or even Eli Ricks, who we just found out potentially is a part of the conversation now, none of them have truly definitively separated themselves from the pack. None of them have. The competition has been up and down. No one has really created distance from their peers. You can't blame Howie Roseman for wanting to hedge his bet. You can't blame Howie Roseman for wanting to bring more competition in. A younger guy, a guy who's hungry, a guy with good measurables, a guy who actually has put up some pretty decent tape. So, listen, there's still a lot of time left to decide what's what. The first preseason game is this Thursday. I doubt we see Bennett in that game. We may see Bennett in the second game, in that Browns game, or that Jets game, I think. I highly doubt we see Bennett this Thursday. We may see him in the Browns game. Let me see if I can learn more about this guy, Jakorian Bennett. Let me see if I can get some measurables, get some tangible measurables. All right. I'm looking at his combine here. Bench press 13 reps, a broad jump of 133 centimeters, or is that inches? Who knows? A vertical of 40.5 inches. A 40-yard dash. Wow, he ran a 4.3. Damn. Okay. He ran a 4.3, 5'11", 195, which is very good measurables. Has a 40.5 vertical. This guy's an athlete. This guy's an athlete. This guy can jump out the gym. This guy can run with the best of them. See what else I can find about him. All right. Decent arm length. Has a 77 inch wingspan. 32-inch arms. Listen, this guy's an athlete. His PFF coverage grade is not that good. I'll be honest about that. His PFF coverage grade is not that good whatsoever. Ironically enough, he was a part of Kelee Ringo's draft class. That's another thing that's interesting about this. He was a part of that 2023 draft class with Kelee Ringo, Sidney Brown, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. He was a part of that draft class. Let's see here what we have. Darnell Williams with the $2 super chat. He says, don't know why the Eagles don't believe in Ringo. It's not about that. It's not about that. The opportunity is there for him to do his job. They're not robbing him. Okay. Let me dog walk this thing. This move is the Philadelphia Eagles doing what's in the best interest of the team, making sure they have enough talent there, regardless of the outcome. Because at the end of the day, Kelee Ringo's opportunity doesn't change. He still has to go through training camp. He still has to compete. He still has to prove that he's the guy. A lot can happen between today and week 1. A lot can happen. Them making this move is a sign that they are concerned about that position. That's a fact. But that doesn't mean Kelee Ringo's opportunity or his chances of winning the job changes, in my humble opinion. Sure, you brought in another guy to compete, but that's better for Kelee Ringo. If you're looking at it that way, the bottom line is, hey, nobody could take nothing from you that's meant for you. If Kelee Ringo goes out there and does his job in training camp, does his job in the preseason game, we ain't talking about nothing. That's the cold reality. If Kelee Ringo goes out here and does his job, we ain't talking about nothing. Let's just call it what it is. We can't get emotional about this. Listen, I'm pulling for Kelee Ringo. I want Kelee Ringo to win the job. But guess what? Because you traded for this other young guy who's also on a rookie deal, who also was a part of that 2023 draft class like Kelee Ringo, and for what I'm hearing, the word is he was picked 1 pick before Kelee. 1 pick before him. Let me see if I got this right here. Jakorian Bennett was picked 104. Kelee Ringo was picked 105. And McWilliams just got hurt. Drew Makuba is hurt right now. You need depth. You need depth in the DB room. We don't know when Drew or McWilliams will be fully healthy. But Jakorian Bennett, he got the same years left on his contract as Ringo. They both were drafted in the 4th round of that 2023 draft class. As far as I'm concerned, nothing changes financially. Nothing changes. If Ringo becomes the guy, hey, beautiful. If Jakorian Bennett becomes the guy, beautiful. Because they're in the same circumstances contractually. Contractually, nothing changes. As a matter of fact, I want Jakorian Bennett to win for the same reason I want Kelee Ringo to win. Kelee Ringo is on a rookie deal. And if Kelee Ringo and Jakorian Bennett or Jakorian Bennett are successful on the rookie deals, you got 3 corners who start for you on rookie deals. My narrative doesn't change. My narrative doesn't change at all. So I don't think this is like they don't believe in Ringo. Ringo, go do your job. Don't worry about what the Eagles doing upstairs. Go do your job. If it's for you, it's for you. That's how I'm looking at it. If it's for you, it's for you. My man Alex says Bennett was picked 1 pick before Ringo. Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy. Thank you for the super chat. Alex says he has a raw athletic score of 9.58. That's crazy as well, man. The narrative doesn't change, you guys. The narrative does not change. Kelee Ringo still has to go out there and do his job. It's as simple as that. And Jakorian Bennett just got traded to the Eagles. He put up some good tape. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, they're in the same boat. And regardless who wins that job, my reason for wanting Kelee Ringo's success is the same reason why Jakorian Bennett should be successful with the Eagles. You want to have financial flexibility at that cornerback spot, knowing you got to pay a lot of guys. Let me see if I can learn more about Jakorian Bennett, man, because I need to see where he primarily lined up at. Jakorian Bennett news. Let's see. Okay, here we are. This is AZ Sports. Okay, let's see here. Okay, it says the Las Vegas Raiders, and this is on azsports.com. Says here the Las Vegas Raiders have been known to make some questionable decisions here and there over the history of the franchise, but I'm not sure anyone saw the new regime making the decision they just did. Pete Carroll and John Spytek know what they're doing better than any of us. So let's start by prefacing that. But this decision they just made is pretty odd, or maybe there is something that we just don't know. Either way, trading your best cornerback statistically, that is, for a depth defensive tackle who may not even make the 50-man roster is a bit odd. Wow. On Monday, the Raiders did just that. According to Adam Schefter of ESPN, the Raiders traded cornerback Jakorian Bennett for defensive tackle Thomas Booker. They said it doesn't make a whole lot of sense no matter how you spin it. Raiders trade Jakorian Bennett for Thomas Booker, but why? The theory is that the theory is that Jakorian Bennett just simply does not fit the way Pete Carroll likes to play. But I'm not buying that because he does fit the way Patrick Graham plays his defense. And we know that because he's done it the last 2 years. And last year he did it at a very high level. Before spending the rest of the season on IR, Bennett led the league in pass breakups by week 10, and that was all with the shoulder injury that he played through until finally the team told him he needed surgery. His biggest flaw has been availability, because other than that, he's a damn good corner. Wow. Bennett runs a 4.3 40-yard dash and has used that speed to his advantage very well on the outside. So why did they trade him? Some will tell you defensive tackle depth with Christian Wilkins gone, but that's not why. It can't be. And it can't be because that's the exact reason they drafted not one but two defensive tackles in the 2025 NFL draft to prepare for the Wilkins situation. Yes, they needed depth there, but Jonah Lalu has been the talk of the town at training camp. They needed depth there, but not enough to trade away your best corner. So this means that they have a ton of faith in what Darian Porter, Jakorian Richardson, and Eric Stokes are going to do. This now means that Stokes is a starter. Oh, and by the way, if they traded Bennett because of the defensive style, which is not why, then why did they keep Stokes, who is worse than Bennett, more expensive, and plays the exact same way? Wow. So apparently, this guy, Jakorian Bennett, can play. And frankly, the Raiders community doesn't really understand. He was considered to be the best corner on that Raiders team. Statistically, that is. Maybe the Eagles got a diamond in the rough. He's battled injuries. He was the starter last year, but he got hurt. He battled some injuries last year. He had to go on season-ending IR, dealing with a shoulder, but was leading the league in pass deflections up to that point. We'll see, man. Because the reality is Ringo has struggled to turn his head around in coverage. He struggled to turn his head around in coverage. Let's just call it what it is, man. Let's call it what it is. Bird's Eye View says, am I tripping? But if Cooper plays days and we move Makuba to slot, won't our secondary be fixed? You probably meant safety when you wrote that. Okay, I see what you meant. See, here's the thing. Cooper's going to play the nickel or play the slot when they're in nickel formation. And it's looking like right now Cooper is going to be the safety when they're in base, but the Eagles are rarely in base. So I wouldn't even think too much about it if I'm being honest. Warrior says, well, if this dude is more a slot, can we maybe see DeJean move to safety? Well, DeJean has been playing safety and base. He's been playing the slot when they're in the nickel. So my prediction is Cooper DeJean will remain in the slot when they're in nickel. He may play safety when they're in base, and that's where you may see Jakorian Bennett or Kelee Ringo on the field. I don't know, man. They're doing a lot of mix matching. They're doing a lot of experimentation right now. But I think the one thing I could definitively say, I think Cooper DeJean is going to play the slot when they're in nickel, and he likely will play the safety spot when they're in base. It all depends on the trajectory of Andrew Makuba and Sidney Brown. You may see Andrew Makuba and or Matt McWilliams on the field when they're in dime, right? But when they're in base, they still need somebody playing that outside. When they're in nickel, they still need somebody playing that outside. So will it be Ringo? Will it be Jakorian Bennett? Will it be Adoree Jackson? We don't know. But them making the trade for Jakorian Bennett says that they are not fully confident. They are not fully locked into that position the way it is right now. You got to follow their moves, follow their actions. Don't listen to their words. Pay attention to the actions. Pay attention to the decisions they make. Okay, especially Howie Roseman. Don't listen to his words. Watch his actions. You want to know what your team thinks about a player? Pay attention to the moves they make. In particular, the moves they make at their position. Trading for Jakorian Bennett, a player who has some talent, has some tangibles you like, has gifts you like. Them trading for him at this point tells you they're not comfortable with the CB2 competition right now. And they believe they need more there. Let's just call it what it is, man. I'm not going to be live too long, you guys. I just wanted to touch base with y'all about this move. I'm not sure what the future holds for Ringo. We're all going to find out. He's under contract. He's still on the rookie deal. He's a great special teamer. So at this point, we don't know. We just don't know. But the Eagles traded for Jakorian Bennett. The Raiders are sending cornerback Jakorian Bennett to the Eagles in exchange for Thomas Booker IV. So Thomas Booker IV, man, it's been a pleasure. I wish you well. You were somebody that I was really high on. I still am high on you. I think Thomas Booker IV can make plays with given the opportunity. But now I think he's in a similar situation with the Raiders. Maybe he's in a better situation. Maybe he has a chance to get more reps. Who knows? They did draft a lot of D tackles on that team. They drafted like 2 DTs on that team. And they are going through the situation with Christian Wilkins. So it all remains to be seen. Maybe Thomas Booker can become a DT3 on that team. Who knows? But blessings to him. Much love to him. Jakorian Bennett, welcome to the Philadelphia Eagles. I wish you nothing but the best. Kelee Ringo, Adoree Jackson, watch your cookies. Watch your back. Don't get comfortable. This move signifies that you should not be comfortable. And I mean that respectfully. This move is a shot across the bow. It's telling Kelee Ringo and it's telling Adoree Jackson that you should not feel safe. You should not feel comfortable. And it also says the Eagles are very confident in their defensive tackle depth. Again, I say Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Ty Robinson, Gabe Hall, Jacob Sykes, Byron Young, Joe Evans. The Eagles are very comfortable. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking at the depth chart right now, and they have Jakorian Bennett listed as a backup corner, not a nickel. They have him as a backup outside corner. So we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see how it turns out. Michael Johnson with the super chat says, "Is it Justin Simmons time next?" We'll see, dog. I don't know, man. I don't know, but the Raiders fans are pissed. So maybe that's a good sign, you guys. Raiders fans are pissed. Raiders fans do not like the move. And again, he's 24 years old. All right. I got another thing to bring on screen here for you guys. And this is before he got hurt. Check this out. Says here, Jakorian Bennett, by November 9th, Jakorian Bennett had a 40% completion rate allowed, 7 forced pass breakups, and a 58.6 passer rating allowed. The guy can obviously play. He can definitely play. We'll see though, man. Stay focused says JB will be in the slot. Well, we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. They've been doing a lot of mismatching. Let's see what else Raiders fans is talking about. Let's see here. All right. Jakorian Bennett allowed just 18 catches on 37 targets for 0 touchdowns last year and 294 coverage snaps. If he could just stay healthy, I'm hearing good things. That's pretty much what I'm hearing. If he's healthy, you got a player. That's all I'm hearing. If he's healthy, you got a player. All right, you guys. Once again, the Philadelphia Eagles, they traded defensive tackle Thomas Booker IV to the Raiders for cornerback Jakorian Bennett. This guy clearly can play. He's put up some good tape, put up some good stats. I'm going to try to learn more about him. In the meantime, you guys, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you guys coming in, watching the show last minute. I saw the news come across my phone, and I had to come chop it up with y'all. So, Kelee Ringo, Adoree Jackson, don't get comfortable. It's just that simple. Don't get comfortable. And as much as I like Thomas Booker IV, I really like that player. So I am a little disappointed we parted ways with him. But that doesn't mean I'm not high on Ty Robinson, or I like Gabe Hall as well. He's another player that looked good last year. But the Eagles like Gabe Hall. Ty Robinson, obviously, they drafted him, I think, in the 5th round, something like that. You know, Moro Jomo, we expect him to take a leap forward. So look, the Eagles clearly like their defensive tackle depth, and they clearly are concerned about their cornerback depth, in particular the CB2 competition. They're clearly concerned about that. So as long as this guy stays healthy, which is a big if he stays healthy, we might got a CB2, y'all, because this guy clearly can play. He's going up against top-notch competition. He's coming from the AFC West. So he's had to deal with Cortland Sutton. He's had to deal with Ladd McConkey. He's had to deal with who else in the AFC West receiver-wise? Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. He's had to deal with some speedsters. He's had to deal with some big body receivers like a Cortland Sutton. He's had to deal with some good route runners in the Ladd McConkey. So, and he's played in the AFC. I mean, it is what it is. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Welcome to the Philadelphia Eagles. Jakorian Bennett, Kelee Ringo, and Adoree Jackson. Watch your cookies. In a straight like that, I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been locked in on this impromptu version, this impromptu edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Let's get to the shenanigans, y'all. The content don't stop. The vibes don't stop. We got a preseason game on Thursday. Get excited.